The Lost World, Jurassic Park, sequel to the highly praised movie Jurassic Park, book and movie. This is the sequel. We want to talk about it a little bit because of its highly controversial status. A lot of fans love it, a lot of fans hate it.
A lot of people hate it.
A lot of people hate it. A lot of people think this is the worst Jurassic Park, like you were saying.
Yeah, I don't think it's the worst. I mean,
yeah.
We were talking about it before. I don't think it's the worst, but a lot of people I've been talking to recently seem to think it's the worst. And I can get why they think that.
I think definitely because it's...
I mean, we can get into that, but do you want to explain, like, basically this is the sequel, if you haven't seen Jurassic Park 1, it's about a theme park that goes wrong with dinosaurs and how you shouldn't play God and create dinosaurs and bring back something that's extinct, and pretty much the entire lesson gets wrapped up in the first movie. And then this comes along
and we find out something has survived.
Something has survived. Jeff Goldblum has survived. From the first one. He was in the first one.
He was in the first one.
He's the main character of this movie, and so Lost World came out. Did it need to exist?
No, but
money
happened, and
Steven Spielberg happened.
Fans, Steven Spielberg wanted to make another movie. Mm-hmm. The fans wanted him to make another movie.
Yeah, and
so the pressure was on. So they made another movie, and a lot of people love it. Like I said, a lot of people hate it. But
did the book came out? So there was a book of Jurassic Park before the movie.
Yeah.
Now, was there the book in mind first, or did this film get made first?
The film got made. Well, the book came out first.
Right.
Of The Lost World.
But that was after the first movie.
But that was after Jurassic Park, the movie, and the success of the movie, which prompted Michael Crichton to write a second novel. He wouldn't have otherwise, because he's come out and said he's known for not doing sequels. He's known for being someone who actually despises sequels and thinks they're corny. I know he's said things like that before. He's openly against sequels, basically.
Okay.
But due to the huge success of it, and obviously still lasting today.
It was everywhere,
It was huge.
Jurassic Park is like one of the biggest things ever.
Ever. Still is. And so, obviously, the fans, everyone needed to do another one. It was easy. It was an easy decision. So he wrote a second novel, and the following year they made the second movie.
Nice.
Which I guess we can get into a little later, but was much different than the book.
Yeah,
obviously.
We can touch on some book stuff later.
A little bit.
Do you want to just give a explanation of who the characters are, where this takes place?
So yeah, I'll give a brief synopsis of the movie. So this picks up 4 years after the Jurassic Park movie. So it's 4 years since the disaster at the park. Everything's been shut down. The animals are destroyed. The entire park has been left abandoned on this original island. InGen, which is the company who engineered the dinosaurs, InGen. And
that was something... Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off and start talking about the book. In the first book, they talk about how they airstrike, jets came at the end and blew up the island.
Actually, specifically napalm.
Yeah, they napalmed all the raptors.
They kill every, and it actually happens while they're on the island.
Yeah,
as they're leaving the island in the first book, the military picks them up on a helicopter, and they see the entire island get napalmed, and it's a really emotional scene where you watch all the animals burning and dying.
The first book is awesome. The first book is really good.
Book is a true masterpiece.
That was one of the books I really enjoyed reading front to back. Yeah. But do they even talk about that?
In the movie, no. The movie, they don't ever specify that it was destroyed. They just kind of say it's abandoned. And which obviously in the later movies...
Oh, God, yeah.
In the later installments, the Jurassic World franchise, they show that it actually was not destroyed. It was just abandoned.
Yeah,
and still there.
Chris
Pratt
back. Goddamn.
Yeah, Chris Pratt shows up. But anyway, back to Lost World. So it's 4 years later after everything in Jurassic Park 1. 4 years later, all the characters have moved on. Dr. Ian Malcolm, who was one of the characters in the first movie, survived.
Who was right about everything.
He
knew from the beginning.
He came out and openly told the world what happened. obviously, as another quick background, they all signed non-disclosure agreements when they went to the island. All the scientists. This is
in the movie too?
This is movie canon.
Okay.
All the scientists and people observing all signed non-disclosure agreements. Obviously, because it was an experimental park. It was a park before its opening, and it was a very controversial thing. So all the people behind it didn't want them saying anything legally. So Dr. Ian Malcolm, after this, people died. It was very traumatic for everybody. He comes out and goes to the news and goes to everybody and tells them everything that happened. He tells them that there was dinosaurs, they had cloned creatures, they killed people. He told them everything. InGen, obviously, tries to cover up all of it. They say he's a liar, they slander his name, and basically everyone takes InGen's side, and Ian Malcolm becomes an outcast. He becomes like someone who is no longer trusted in his field. He loses his job, his credibility. He loses a lot of money. Obviously.
And I feel like you don't get a lot of this watching the regular version of the movie.
There's one scene where they talk about it, basically.
Yeah, like all that stuff happens.
All
in
of
one
this
scene.
they mentioned really in one scene.
But they do have in the extended director's cut, which they always show on TV for some reason. It's always the director's cut. They have that scene where they talk about how all the families that got killed in the first one, they paid off.
Suing.
Yeah, they were suing, and they had all these.
Off, yeah.
And I actually kind of like that part.
That's great. Scene.
I mean, I can see why it got cut out because it's a boring boardroom with a bunch of guys in suits that all look the same. It's all guys in glasses. It literally looks like the same person.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they kind of explain the legality issues, and it's kind of boring. I think that's why they cut it out.
I think they cut it out just to
speed it up a little bit.
To speed it up and just to hone in more on Dr. Malcolm's story as opposed to the characters from the first one. Because as it stands, if you watch the Lost World movie, the references to the first one are actually kind of minimal.
Yeah,
they tried to keep it more tight as its own thing, which is cool. Because they only really talk about a few characters from the first one, but it's mostly just Ian Malcolm's story.
Yeah,
and even
that, it's like his story in this is like very small and it wraps up kind of early, and then the rest of the movie kind of just. So we'll get to that when we get
to that
towards the end of the movie. So all that happens, and then basically he finds out his girlfriend is on the island researching dinosaurs with an environmental group.
Yeah, to cut to the chase.
Protect the dinosaurs.
Yeah, to cut to the chase, that's basically what happens. If I could explain in a little more detail.
Yeah.
I think I should. Yeah, so everything, they slander his name, all that. But then, going back to what you were saying, so John Hammond is basically forced. John Hammond is the character in the first one who enlists all the characters. He's the CEO and founder of InGen. He is forced out of retiring because a family on a British cruise actually goes on to on to the Lost World Jurassic
Park. And that's
Park.
actually like the beginning scene.
That's the beginning scene. They actually go to a random island. They think it's a random abandoned island because they're rich and they're having fun. They're bringing their little girl to like a beach. So they find the Lost World Jurassic Park, which isn't explained later.
Which is
what
Site
it is.
B.
Yeah,
Site B.
We find out later it's Site B, but at the time we have no idea.
It's where they make the dinosaurs.
Yeah, when you see in the beginning of the movie, you have no idea.
It's just an island.
It's just an island, and there's dinosaurs, and you're kind of just like, why is there another island?
Yeah.
And the little girl gets attacked and injured. The people sue, and the board of directors take control of InGen from John Hammond.
Yep.
And
which is good.
Which is not good, actually. It's very bad. Because
he also killed like 15 people in the first movie.
He did, yeah, true. I mean, not him. Yeah.
Alright, we can get into how crazy of a man he is.
True.
The flea circus scene.
True, he's a bit,
I wanted to show them something that wasn't an illusion. Something that was real. Something that they could see and touch.
But you can't think through this one, John. You have to feel it.
It's kind of weird.
He's a bit weird. But the issue here in this specific
because they're like villains.
They want to take dinosaurs off the island, bring them to San Diego, and build a zoo there. Like a more easily accessible
accessible Jurassic Park.
When it could be completed,
and ready to receive visitors in less than a month.
They were planning to do that, and now Hammond plan to combat that is to go on the island, document the creatures, and then like take pictures of them, take a photo record, like do a scientific expedition, bring it out as truth that like yes, these things are real. InGen lie, basically gonna go against InGen and show that like we should and try to have like start up an activist like revolution basically, and have people fighting against using them. And
that really sets up the two sides in this movie. There's like the hunters who are with InGen, these like mercenaries versus these naturalists, these hippies, protect the dinosaur type people. But it's done well in this movie, not like
it's not
the other Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, which is it's horribly done. Yeah, this movie has a good premise, it's good setup, and so now we can get into kind of why
Ian goes.
Oh yeah, Ian goes. The main character's motivation in this is, I mean, he doesn't want anything to do with any of this anymore. He injured his leg. He was extremely jaded in the first movie. In this one, he's just a grumpy man.
Yeah, because he's mad
with good reason.
Absolutely.
And then he finds out his girlfriend is Sarah Harding is on the island.
Yes.
Sarah Julianne Moore, and that is his reason to go to the island.
It's actually kind of works for two reasons. Because Sarah Harding's girlfriend, he finds out, was recruited by John Hammond, part of the team. Like you said.
He's not a fan of Hammond, really.
He's not a fan of Hammond at all. But he wants to obviously rescue Sarah, his girlfriend. But at the same time, in doing so, and in getting the photo record that Hammond wanted, he's going to clear his name. Yeah. So it actually works as two things in his favor.
Yeah.
He gets to go save his girlfriend, but at the same time...
But I feel like that part of the movie
is
not talked about
it's kind of
at
plot.
All. Oh yeah, Vince Vaughn's in this movie.
Vince Vaughn's plays Nick Van Owen. Yeah. Who is the field photographer of their group.
Right.
And also secretly a member of Greenpeace, who, he's there to basically combat against the...
Yeah, he's an activist.
He's an activist to fight the hunters who are trying to take the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty good. He's Vince Vaughn.
He's Vince Vaughn.
He does it's like early Vince Vaughn, so he's not like too tired looking.
No, he's like
cool. He's
but
cool,
he still has that like attitude.
He still has that same...
Where he's like chewing gum the whole time, basically.
Yeah, but he doesn't look like he's like hasn't slept in 5 weeks.
No, he's cool Vince Vaughn. He's good enough.
So, now, let's get to the good stuff.
To the meat.
They get to the island.
On the island.
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
Your first dinosaur you see is a Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus in this one, which is new to this second.
Which was new, yeah. We had the figure.
Yeah, we had the action figure.
We had the action figure.
Most of the action figures.
We had most of the action figures.
Right. But the Stegosaurus was a new reveal. That was not in the first movie.
No.
And it was actually it was a big deal. It was the first thing, the first dinosaur.
Yeah.
And it was a big moment. It was a cool moment actually too. It kind of made the river scene. It made it seem like it was going to be something scary.
Yeah.
You hear the big roar through the trees, and it built it up as if it was about to be a big monster, and a big dinosaur.
They kind of take that same pacing from the first movie, where they start introducing some majestic, like impressive dinosaurs first that are nice,
right? And
then you get to the dangerous stuff,
which they even poke fun at with that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, ooh, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming.
Like he finds her relatively early, Sarah Harding,
very early.
And he finds her. They regroup, and things are like he has everyone right where they want them really early.
Thanks.
He's very hands-on. Wants to go see all the dinosaurs. She's all about the activist side of things. And, pretty much.
She's there for the mission.
She's there for the mission. Then they set up some of the hunters. And a really cool scene where they're all like driving like vehicles and there's dinosaurs like rampaging and we introduced a Roland, one of the coolest characters.
Peter, if you want me to run your little camping trip, there are 2 conditions. Firstly, I'm in charge, and when I'm not around, Dieter is. All you need to do is sign the checks, tell us we're doing a good job, and open your case of scotch when we have a good day. Second condition, my fee. You can keep it. All I want in exchange for my services is the right to hunt one of the tyrannosaurs. A male, a buck only. How and why are my business. Now, if you don't like either of those 2 conditions, you're on your own. So go ahead, set up base camp right here, or in a swamp, or in the middle of a wreck's nest, for all I care. But I've been on too many safaris with rich dentists to listen to any more suicidal ideas. Okay.
Actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call him a villain. He's probably the hero of this story.
Yeah, true. Data Stark, he's the second in command of the Hunter team, actually.
Yeah, he is. Is that real?
Yeah, no, it is. Because there's a few lines where Roland Tembo says that. He says when I'm not around, when I'm hunting, Dieter's in charge.
What?
Dieter actually is the second in command.
Oh my god, he's the worst then.
No, he is like, but he's like drunk the whole time.
He
drunk
seemed
mad.
drunk the whole time. He was tasing random dinosaurs.
He was
for fun.
But he was
Not polite to sneak up on people.
one point. That was actually a really funny scene. But that was a little later in the movie.
So.
But yes, it's a great story of family. As with any good, true Jurassic Park movie or book, one of the main stories is about family, and like it's about youth. It's about children. It's about the relationship with their parents, relationship with loved ones. That's always at the heart of Jurassic Park.
This movie, though, I feel like the first one did that really well.
Yeah.
Where it introduced the kids, and Dr. Grant wasn't good with kids, but by the end they bonded with the kids and that whole thing. But in this movie, I feel like it feels like a couple different movies, or 2 different movies.
Sort of.
Because like, there's the part like getting to the island, which feels like a little bit, and then there's the island, and then there's the end where they leave the island. And then that feels like a whole.
I think
other
that's
thing.
when it feels like.
Yeah, and I always remember watching it as a kid. I would kind of lose interest once they got off the island.
Yeah, I think that is when it starts to feel slightly separated.
Right.
Because there's not a lot of the relationship between him and Kelly, his daughter, anymore.
Yeah, she's just gone from the movie.
There's not a lot of relationship
until the end scene where she's like on the couch with them watching CNN.
There's not a lot more. Everything is resolved at that point. Him and Kelly's relationship is resolved. Him and Sarah's is strengthened. Him and everybody else, really, besides the only loose end is the fact that is with InGen.
Yeah, and so basically what happens is they capture a T-Rex, and just like King Kong, they bring it back from the island. It breaks free and it escapes. It's rampaging through the city, and it's just kind of random. And the fact that I always thought the most unbelievable thing, and I think this is why a lot of people don't like this movie, is because it feels so random, is that like Malcolm comes back and like wrangles it. He like saves people. Like, where are the cops? Like, why didn't the police
cops
show
were there.
up
They
and start shooting the dinosaurs?
They tried. They did try, but
they just like jump in the water.
They were afraid.
There's like 2 cops that jump in the water.
Cops were very afraid.
But like, there should be more cops in like the army, or like, I don't know. Like, it just feels like weird that like Malcolm and a hot rod came back with the baby to save it, and that's the only.
It was very Hollywood.
It's very Hollywood, yeah. Like the hero has to come and with his girl and save the people. And
that's the only part. And that was added in the movie. That was not in the book at all.
Really?
There was nothing. The dinosaurs never left the island on the.
Yeah, it feels so. It feels tacked on, and it's just like that the weird that segment with the T-Rex eating the dog.
Yeah.
That whole scene is just like...
I don't like scenes where dogs get killed.
Yeah, I mean, that's number 1. And number 2, it's like a really long scene about parents arguing over the nightlight, and like, it's like, they're freaking...
It's like, I mean, it's kind of interesting, because it's like kind of like a weird horror movie scene. Yeah. Because then there's... Not quite.
Yeah, it kind of is, though.
It feels almost like a cheesy horror movie scene.
Kind of like Fallen Kingdom.
And then you just...
horror
Because then there's a kid who looks out the window, and there's a T-Rex there, which is scary as a kid.
Yeah, that is scary.
You know?
And the parents freak out, and they could have died. I mean, it cuts away. We don't know, but they probably died.
Right.
This is Lost World. A lot of people don't like this movie. A lot of people do like this movie. It's definitely a sequel to a movie that didn't need to exist because, I mean, well, the first movie is just so good, and it wraps up all the themes, and it wraps up everything. But, you know, it was so successful that Hollywood wanted more money, which is good. I mean,
as a fan, I think it's terrific.
Yeah, as a fan, it expands the universe. It doesn't feel too forced as much as kind of like World and then Fallen Kingdom, and now we're on to like there's supposed to be another one.
There's gonna be another one. We'll
There's
see.
still this movie's still a smart
It is.
movie, I will say. Just like one, this with the themes, the morals, the lessons, it's still a smart movie. It's not. We haven't reached like Marvel, dinosaur Marvel. Yeah,
And not saying worlds.
We're not saying they're bad.
Are not. It's just they take the same exact. They steal from this smarts. You know what I mean?
and they water it down with like
Right.
a lot of action.
So they just follow the same.
Yeah.
The same ideas and formulas. So it's, which it works obviously, but for it to be like a fun movie, but it's just at the same time, it's a little bit like, oh well, be nice if they tried more. But Lost World Jurassic Park, definitely watch it on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, Ultra HD, whatever possible streaming.
I'm sure
wherever you can find it.
Yep. And if
YouTube,
you haven't seen
maybe YouTube Red. I don't know. Just Amazon.
It's probably on TV. It's
Hulu.
probably like a million times on TV.
Yeah, on demand, whatever. Yeah. Find it somewhere.
Yeah, but yeah, life finds a way.
Life finds a way, and something has survived. I mean, that slogan doesn't work so much for other stuff. Life finds a way is a good one.
And it has a kick-ass arcade game.